All right, what I've got here is a plain old lawnmower ignition, and what I did yesterday was I broke the key off in it. And I took this apart to get the key out, and you'll see this is not the kind of thing that comes apart. You just don't unscrew this. This is, the metal's folded over, and there's a way to get that out. What I've done is the contacts in here can go in two ways. One's right, one's wrong. And what I've done was I've gone and installed it wrong. So we're going to see if I can get this ignition back apart. On the back of here, you've got the battery terminal, the ignition terminal, starter terminal. So when you have the ignition and the battery, and you turn that on, you get contact, right? When you go to start, you should still have contact between the ignition and the battery, otherwise it won't start. Which means I've gone and put the contacts in 180 degrees out, which is why I'm taking this back apart. If I can get this back apart and back together one more time, I think I will have pressed my luck. But I'm going to show you how I did this. Alright, I've chucked this up in a lathe, and if you've ever watched the videos on how they form trumpet horns, this is the same principle. I've got a rod here. I put a little oil on it, and I'm going to run it along this edge here to open this metal back up. All right. All right, there we are. We've opened that back up. Now all I got to do is find the spring again. Nope, two springs. Got the backer plate. Oh, right there's the contact. How handy is that? All right. So now we're going to put this back, flip this around and put it back in. Make sure I've got my contacts right this time. And I'll show you how to put this back together. All right, here we are. I've got this turned around. Just going to show you again. You've got your battery terminal, your starter, and your ignition. And you recall the problem I had was when I turned the switch to start, I lost my ignition contact. So, now we're back together. There's on. I go to start, I still have good contact. So my contacts are back in the right way. Now I just need to close this back up. All right, now closing it back up is a little bit trickier. I've got this switch mounted back in the chuck. I've got a socket against my center, and I'm using my center to hold the switch plate in position. I've got this tool that I've made with a roller bearing on it, and I'm going to use my cross feed to leverage that roller bearing up against the switch plate to close that metal back up. All right. Like I said, this is the last time I will get to do this. I've got a piece that's cracked away here already. I think that'd be all right. I told you I'd done this once yesterday, and this is aluminum, so flexing it twice is not a good deal. But I think I'm going to get away with this. Worst case scenario, I go out and buy another switch anyhow. All right. All right, I went ahead and put a little precautionary black tape around that just to make sure it wouldn't crack out anymore. Like I said, I got away with this once yesterday. I didn't expect to get away with it twice, and I did. So I'm fairly happy with that. There's my battery terminal. There's my ignition terminal. When I put this key in, I'm getting my signal when I start, when I turn it on. When I go to start, I'm still getting a signal. And that's what I want. All right. Like I said, I got away with this once. I didn't expect to get away with it twice, but I did. And if it doesn't work once it's back in the tractor, I go buy a new switch. But that's how you fix things.